What's up, everybody? I'm just kind of doing a little impromptu show. You know, not normally the live show where it's all put together nice, but I wanted to talk about the Clemson Texas A&M game, post game, get your reaction, see your thoughts, kind of look at it going forward. Hopefully everything looks good. Can you let me know if you can hear me? Clemson Carson jumped in. Welcome to the show, Clemson Carson and Pigskin Pete. I see you both are in there. Thank you for joining the live stream. I think it was a good win. It was a little bit slow. I felt like kind of got bored a little bit. I don't really like saying bored when you win, when you score 24 points, but it was a couple of times there where I felt like Clemson couldn't get things going, then turn around Texas A&M couldn't get things going. But yeah, you're saying that the wide receivers balled out and Trevor did better for sure. I've got up 24 completions for 35 attempts, a lot better than last time. 268 yards better. One touchdown still, another interception. He said he just kind of underthrew it there, and he felt like if he had kind of overthrew it, then it probably would have fallen right where he wanted to, right over his shoulder for a touchdown. He felt like he could have gotten a touchdown off of that. Texas A&M had everybody in uniform injured. Yeah, I felt like that too. I noticed that over on the Discord channel and on Reddit and Twitter, saying that Jimbo Fisher's back at it again, telling his players to, fake a cramp or whatever you want to say. I hate saying fake when it comes to injury, but in the case of Jimbo Fisher, it's kind of hard to say if you're faking or not. But he definitely seems to have a lot of injuries. I had some friends that were at the game, felt like, why is this guy, why are there so many injuries? Texas A&M can't keep up if they're all injured. And, maybe like we've picked on him about not being or that SEC schedule. Well, it's only the second game of the year or the season, and they hadn't played any SEC teams, so you can't talk about the SEC schedule has beat them up. You also talk about SEC teams, and you look at the fact that Clemson again came out against an SEC team from the West and played a ton of backups. So, that's the thing about Clemson. I feel like if you look at it, my first reaction was this team's still not perfect. They're still got a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that they need to address. And so it's exciting as a Clemson fan because I feel that, they can just be even better as the weeks go on. As far as next week, I'm ready for that as well. I feel like that Syracuse fans kind of came into the season with their heads up high and very excited about going into the Clemson game for sure. College game day, going to be the first time College game day is ever there for a football game. And they've been there for basketball, but, especially after losing so bad to Maryland and then seemed to not really get things going the way they wanted to against Liberty, even though it was a win. It's I I think I would agree in the sense that I don't see how Syracuse could match up either. That's the thing about Clemson right now, is that it's almost as if no matter what you bring against them, they're going to be able to adjust. And if you want to stop the run, if you want to stop Travis Etienne like they did today, well, then Lynn J. Dixon will pick up right where he left off, or they'll just throw the ball to him in the flats. Is game day going to still be there? I don't know if game day is going to still be there or not. I assume that was a planned preseason. But after losing that game, that big blowout, I wouldn't think that they would change the game day, considering that with all the stuff it takes to get everybody together for that. If they just go off of what's the best game of the week, I don't think that's the best game of the week anymore. What's up, Toby? Welcome to the show. Toby was at the game. He just said that we dominated A&M. I felt the same way. I felt like that Kellen Mond was not on his game. A lot of people felt like after looking at him last year and how well he did, I mean, the guy played a Connor Shaw type game. I mean, he was just lights out, perfect. Every pass that was almost intercepted went right past the Clemson defenders into the Texas A&M wide receivers, and I knew that he wasn't going to be able to keep that up. I think we all kind of knew that on the Clemson side. Texas A&M fans seemed to not believe that. I mean, the guy had 42 pass attempts and 24 completions. He just was all over the place, and you could kind of tell that they kind of took the ball away from him there after, I guess, the first quarter, really, to try to see what they could get going. I mean, these guys really, I don't even want to say that they really even scored a touchdown in this game, because if you look at it, I mean, that was a garbage time touchdown. Yeah, that was a trash touchdown, like Toby was saying. No holds called on Texas A&M. Man, there were a lot of frustrating calls, I think, for Texas A&M fans and for Clemson fans. Yeah, I think the defense was, Carson's saying that the defense was sick and tired of hearing the fans talk about how they got ran over. Mond torched them last year. I think that's true too. I think they wanted to come out and make a statement, and they sure did. I mean, basically having only 3 points for the entire game. Let's not even count that 7 points. I mean, it was just by Isaiah. If Isaiah Simmons had not blitzed, there would not have been a touchdown. It might have even been an interception there at the end. So to me, I think that was just over pursuit right there. You talk about Mond getting rattled. I think even Texas A&M fans were saying on Twitter that they felt like this is a Kellen Mond that they were not expecting to see, and that Kellen Mond was rattled pretty much the entire game. I tweeted some things over on early during the game when they did the double blitz from Xavier Thomas and AJ Terrell, and that was nasty. And I feel like that corner blitz worked so well throughout the entire game. I really feel bad for Kellen Mond, because I feel like if teams look at this game, they now have a key tactic or technique to use against him. They're going to be able to go after him from the cornerback almost all day. I mean, it worked every single time Brent Venables dialed it up. So, and he got laid out that one time where Thomas and Terrell collided. A&M only had 91 yards at halftime. What did they? I'm going to look at the team stats here and see what they ended up with. But 6 for 16 on third down. Clemson 3 for 10 on third down, so not really that good on third down, but total yards, 289 yards. Most of it came from passing. Man, rushing yards, only 53 rushing yards. See, I told you this before going into the game that when I watched Corbin, when I watched Spiller, those guys did not look impressive against Texas State. And so I did not feel like their running game was intimidating at all. And we saw that play out in the Texas A&M game tonight. I mean, 53 yards rushing on 27 attempts, so 2 yards per rush. Now, on the flip side, Clemson had a difficult time getting the rush started. It's kind of interesting. It's tale of two games. You got the Georgia Tech game where it was like we could run the ball. Clemson could run the ball as much as they wanted, and now it's the Texas A&M game, and it was kind of, I think they went into the game thinking, okay, we're just going to keep doing what we did last game, and that didn't work. That got stopped almost immediately. It was kind of a brick wall there for Travis Etienne, and I felt bad for Travis because that's definitely not the night he needed for sure. Especially coming off of a game where arguably one of his best games ever, turns around and gets 16 carries for 53 yards, 3.3 yards averaged, and was really kind of sat down towards the third and fourth quarter because Lynn J. Dixon had the better hand. I mean, he was getting 7.2 yards per carry there towards the end of the game. So, I'm glad that Clemson has the weapons to adjust. Man, I just can't say enough about T. Higgins coming and being there right when they needed him on key catches during the game. How about Amari Rodgers, man? Amari Rodgers coming back and playing in that game. And I'm talking about legit plays. He was blocking for other players. He was blocking in the run. He was doing slant routes. He was going across the middle. It was really exciting. They didn't just have him out there as a showboat. They actually had him running plays, and he was ready to go. I thought, man, how awesome would the field or the stadium have, how much would the stadium blown up if he would have scored? That would have been awesome. Ross played well. I mean, he had a couple of drops. There were a couple of things, but he definitely did better than last game. If you look at him, he led the Clemson core with receiving 7 receptions, 94 yards, 13.4 yards average, with a 30-yard long and 1 touchdown. So yeah, definitely a lot better than three catches and 13 yards like last week. So I'm excited that he kind of picked up where we're kind of improved from last week. It's crazy to say that this team really, I feel like this team's not on all cylinders yet, especially on the offense. I feel like this team has some things still left out there. Toby's saying the same thing. I feel like there's a lot of touchdowns still left out there, especially the one that was intercepted late in the game. I felt like that was one, if it was just a little bit higher, would have been right in the guy's hands and gone into the end zone. Luke, welcome to the show. Rick Williams, welcome to the show. Big Mick, welcome to the show. We're just doing kind of a impromptu. This is not like part of the show, part of the Wednesday night deal. I'm just trying to do something fun. Post-game, post-show, or not post-show, but post-game show. Basically just talking to you guys. Want to get your thoughts and just kind of throw my thoughts out there. Really unscripted, not planned. Don't have any schedule for you, but we're just going through it. I'll be happy to talk through anything you put in the chat. So just throw some things in the chat and just say hello. Rick Williams said defense is still for real. Oh yeah, man. I mean, you basically didn't let up any touchdowns. I mean, let's remove that garbage time touchdown that was really could have been a stop there too if Isaiah Simmons had not gone after him. So I'm really impressed with the defense, being able to not allow touchdowns for sure. I'm still, man, I feel like they're missing too many tackles. So that's something that I'd like for them to improve on. James Skalski, whiffed on a couple of things. He had him bear hugged and they slid out of him. So I'm a little, I wouldn't say concerned, but I just want him to clean that stuff up. I know it's just the second game of the season, and I'm probably just beating him up a little too much. But I'd like to see a little bit of an improvement there on the tackling side from really Skalski. It's the main person. I felt like that the defensive line did well. A lot of good plays from Jordan Williams. Timothy Lee's jumped in. Welcome to the show, Timothy. He's talking about Syracuse. I mean, let me tell you something. Do you think that Syracuse is got a chance at all next week? And the other question I have for you guys is, what about Maryland? I mean, Maryland came out and they've almost scored 200 points in 2 games, and that's a concern for me because I wasn't expecting Maryland to just turn their offense up like this and torch defenses like they're doing. So if I'm an opposing coach, I'm wondering, man, how in the world am I going to stop this team? They got the former Virginia Tech quarterback, I believe, on the team, or Josh Johnson, right? I think he's their quarterback, and Josh Jackson, I think he's doing really well. Just tearing it up over there. How about my pick? I don't know if you guys saw the last show, but on Wednesday night I picked my upset of the week to be Army beating Michigan in Big House, and man, they almost did it, man. They almost did it. My Army vets over there, my Army boys, almost pulled it out. Michigan is, Michigan needs to just give up now. I mean, they don't have their quarterback. Shea Patterson is I don't even know what to say about him. He seems like he's all over the place. He's inconsistent. They let him pass the ball, and he drives down and scores, and then they take the ball away from him and try to run. They couldn't run against the Army defense, and they couldn't stop the Army run. So I really don't see, a lot of people are picking Michigan to be a team that could go to the college football playoffs. I don't see that at all. No way. Nobody picked Maryland to do what they're doing, so that's a little scary. But, Army should have won. Syracuse was ranked based on their play against Clemson. Next stop, ACC Championship. Well, one game at a time. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. This team's still got a lot of areas that they can improve. I think Mac Brown's going to try to really push the envelope against Clemson. Mac Brown is a good coach, good recruiter. You saw what they were able to do in the first game of the season, and I'm excited for the game tonight. It comes up in about 3 minutes. You're looking at UNC versus Miami at 8 o'clock, so I'm excited for that. I agree. I don't think Michigan is going to make it very far at all this year. Syracuse, I think we had Mark Childress on the show at the beginning of the summer, and he said Syracuse was a pretender. They were going to get blown out, and it looks to be the case. Syracuse is definitely a pretender, and looks like they're going to get blown out by Clemson. Clemson's one of those teams like today. It really wasn't like a flashy win. There wasn't like a big 90-yard run today, but it's just slow and methodical. They got stopped a couple of times. They had quarters where they didn't score, but they just kept pounding. They tried different things. They were able to adjust, and that's what I want. That's the big word for this team, is being able to adjust. I mean, you stopped the passing game last week, and they just run all over you. You stopped the running game, really. I mean, you stopped Travis Etienne, and Trevor Lawrence just goes all over. T. Higgins shows up. You've got, Justin Ross shows up. So they've got Lynn J. Dixon shows up, and they got a lot of different ways where they can attack you. And to me, I don't see how you plan against Clemson. Let me know in the comments what you think. What if you were an opposing coach? What would you do to plan against Clemson? I think it would be very extreme, almost impossible, especially if you look at it on the defensive end. I'm looking at being able to play against this team. It's crazy to think that how much Brent Venables has changed this defense, and yet it's still so dominant. We saw a team against Georgia Tech come out in a 3-4 and a 3-3-5. And then again tonight, we saw a team come out in a 3-3-5 almost the entire game. Most of the time, spelling Kayvon Wallace and Isaiah Simmons, swapping them. And Simmons was back deep. That was something that surprised me. I don't know if you guys saw that, but number 11 was back there deep on a lot of the plays, and Wallace was the one blitzing in a lot of plays. I thought that's very interesting and exciting, because I feel like it's nice to see Brent Venables try new things and see what works. This team is not a team that has a stacked defensive line to play 4 defensive linemen, and he knew that going into the season, and he's adapted that. He's not trying to put players in a system. He's trying to mold the system around the players that he has. So let me check out the comments here. Clemson Carson says he's got UNC for an upset. I don't remember who I picked. Let me take a look and see in my Yahoo League. I did pick Clemson to beat the spread, and that last-minute touchdown got me. Go figure. I was hoping that they would stop them. But I picked Florida. I picked Miami to win. It's to beat they're giving 4.5. I picked Miami to win by more than 4.5 on mine. Picking your poison when it comes to facing Clemson. If you go all out to stop the run, you're just going to throw all over you. I agree. Clemson knows how to. Luke Godwin says Clemson knows how to win. Don't see anything important about the scoreboard except whether we end up with more points, and that's Clemson's mantra. Hey, yeah, that's exactly what Trevor Lawrence said in his post-game interview. It doesn't really matter if I throw an interception. It doesn't really matter if I don't get a score every single series. What matters is what the ending result is on the scoreboard, and that's clear going into the season. We talked about, we like to talk about who was going to win the Heisman, but that's not really what this team is about. It's not really about winning the Heisman. It's about being the most successful team as a whole and winning national championships. And this is one of those teams that is just, I feel like it's going to be very difficult to plan against. Delta Charlie saying he was hoping for another score, but it was a junk score. I was hoping for some more scores. I actually felt like Clemson was going to put up around 40. I was kind of surprised, the low-scoring matchup. And I was definitely surprised they didn't score. I believe they didn't score in the first quarter or the fourth quarter. Yeah, I was definitely surprised about not scoring at the start and the end of the game. So Big Mick's saying that Trevor Lawrence needs to execute better and fix his mechanics. Um, I mean, I'm not sure. I feel like that there are some things that Trevor can obviously improve on. We got to remind ourselves that he is a sophomore. And a lot of people believe that you're going to have that sophomore slump now that he has film against him. That was one of those things that it was hard for Brandon Streeter and Dabo Swinney to coach him because they had only high school film and for Trevor. And the same thing goes for opposing defenses. They only had high school film against him. And so now that they have a full year of film against him and that now 2 more games of film against him, I feel like it's going to be more difficult for Clemson and Trevor Lawrence specifically to beat defenses. I think they're going to try to disguise things and look at tendencies. It's just like batters in baseball. You come out and you get your Ronald Acuñas and your guys that come out here and just knock a home run on their first at bat. And granted, Ronald's doing great still, but there are a lot of players who come out and they do really hot in their first year, and then the next couple of years it's lower because these pitchers start looking at the analytics and just start pitching where you can't hit. And I think it's the same way for defenses against a quarterback. They try to figure out where you don't like to throw or where you're not as successful in, and try to force you into those situations where you're not as successful. The FSU game attendance is lower than high school. Let me take a look at the scores right now for the top 25. Well, let me look at the ACC first because Florida State's not going to be in the top 25. Yeah, 31-28 Florida State right now with 9 minutes, 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That's crazy. I mean, you're telling me that you're Florida State and you cannot beat, or you're having a difficult time beating UL Monroe. This is ridiculous. I think if this, I don't see that Coach Willie Taggart staying for very long if he continues to do this. This is just ridiculous. I mean, there's no reason that a top level state school should be struggling to win against or keep a win, maintain a win against teams like this. This is another game. It looks like from the box score they came out strong, 14-0 after first half. 24-7 at halftime. So another game just like Boise State where they come out strong, but then third quarter, no score. Fourth quarter, 7 points. But they just got that. So, I mean, Florida State is struggling hard and just in shambles for sure. Clemson Carson saying we seem to be pretty sloppy. Until October. I mean, I think a lot of teams are that way for sure. Yeah, Delta Charlie's agreeing, saying that we're kind of slow starting out. Trevor played really good today, not worried at all. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there were a few things here and there, but he almost had 300 yards passing, 268, 24 for 35. I mean, Coach V was protecting Muse. I'm not sure if you're talking about the defense or not, but I know that Kayvon Wallace got beat deep against Georgia Tech, and so I felt like that was the reason why he swapped Isaiah Simmons with Wallace during this game and put him back. But the interesting thing is there was one big deep pass play that Mon completely missed on, which he completely missed on just about every play tonight. But there was one deep pass that Isaiah Simmons was back there and was flat-footed. So I was like, here we go again, another safety. He was brought back there to ensure that doesn't happen, and here he goes. Most experienced guy on defense is getting flat-footed and letting a guy run by him. If Kellen Mond had hit that, it would have been a touchdown for sure. Let's see, I'm just kind of scrubbing through the comments. Like I said, join us in the comments. This is really just kind of an impromptu show that we're just going to talk about the game, get your thoughts and emotions and emotional outbursts and complaints out there or successes out there. Jimbo lets the players take over the team. I felt like Jeff Collins was doing that with that crazy whiteboard Instagram account. I thought that was ridiculous. Let's look at the scores from around. We got the ACC. So Clemson wins. Florida State still holding on, got the ball and driving in the fourth quarter. Duke's 31-10 over North Carolina A&T. Louisville 14-0. I thought Louisville did really well against Notre Dame last week, even though they weren't able to win the game. But man, that Maryland game, crazy. 63-20. Maryland, first quarter 21 points, second quarter 21 points, third quarter 7, and fourth quarter 14. Just amazing at how much they're scoring right now. Kind of scaring me. Let's look at their schedule for real quick. So Maryland's got Temple, and then at the end of September has Penn State at home, and then really doesn't have anybody until the beginning of November. Michigan, which that's no, we know that they're a pretender. They don't have anything. I mean, a team like Maryland is just going to destroy Michigan. Go ahead and write me down for that game. I'm taking Maryland plus 53 on that game in November. They keep doing what they're doing. That's going to be a good game, though. Ohio State, or not that game, but this game, Ohio State versus Maryland at Ohio State, November 9th. That's going to be a good one. Maryland's got three, or really their last 4 games of the season are really tough. You're really going to know if they're the real deal or not from November going on. They got Michigan at home, then they got to go to OSU, and then they got Nebraska at home, which Nebraska just lost to Colorado in overtime. We just saw that. It's crazy. And then Michigan State to finish it up at Michigan State, number 19 right now. So tougher end of the year schedule. So it's kind of like reverse for Maryland versus Clemson. Clemson's got the tough beginning of the schedule, and Maryland has a tougher end of the schedule. But UL Monroe, hopefully they didn't just score, because that'd be disastrous for Florida State and my few Florida State friends that I have. Syracuse without Eric Dungy is like Louisville without Lamar Jackson. That's exactly right, Delta Charlie. I agree 110%. I mean, you can't lose your quarterback and your number one rusher and expect to hang with Clemson again, or hang really with anybody. As we're seeing, all they have left on offense is Mo Neal. That's it. And they shut him down today. And when you shut down Mo Neal in Syracuse, they can't do anything else. It's over with for them. I'm not having a really good week right now in my picks. I'm good on the Virginia game, good on Wake game, not good on Boise State. Man, Boise State only beat Marshall 14-7. That's kind of, I wasn't expecting that after beating up Florida State. Pittsburgh, I won that one. Maryland, I won that one. Virginia Tech, I didn't. I should have known better. Old Dominion played Virginia Tech better last year, or actually beat them last year. I should have known they weren't going to blow them out this year, but I went with the blowout anyways. But I need to start staying away from these 28 points or higher spreads. They just don't do me very well. I did pick, let's see, Iowa. Iowa won for me. Ohio State won for me. NC State won for me. Man, but I lost Clemson, lost Georgia Tech, lost Utah. So I lost Nebraska. I picked Nebraska to win. But I won Wisconsin, Georgia, and Alabama. I picked New Mexico State. And man, it was 55 points. Alabama had to beat New Mexico State by more than 55 points, and they beat them by 52 points. So I ran away with that one. But it looks like I'm about to lose the Florida State game. 31-28 right now. The spread was 21, so it looks like I'm going to lose that one. Gosh. Tony Dungy was like one of those guys, like a Lamar Jackson, like a Connor Shaw, that could just elevate his team to the next level without even really knowing it. But let's go back to the Clemson Texas A&M game. I really feel like that, when you look at the cornerbacks, I think they did really well. Obviously, A.J. Terrell blitzed a couple of times and showed his versatility there, so I was really excited for that. You look at Isaiah Simmons had another, I feel like, strong game as a linebacker position. I felt like it was kind of weird that they put in the backup linebackers and let Texas A&M drive. That one time that they drove down the field very methodically, it was really the backup linebackers were in the game and some of the backup defensive linemen. Same thing with that safety play. What do y'all think about that safety play, or that call that was a safety and not a safety? I thought it was a safety, man. I thought it was a terrible call for like a delayed shotgun handoff or almost a read option type. I don't even know what it was. It went by so fast. I felt like it was a terrible call there in the end zone. Sometimes I wish we would do some more traditional stuff and stop trying to, do the read or whatever they do, or where Trevor can take it or lead, pull it or keep it in his stomach. I don't really like that all the time, especially when you're in the end zone. You thought he got out of the end zone just barely. It was hard to say, man. Hard to say. Touchdown, Louisiana Monroe. Let me refresh. I don't have anything running. Oh my goodness, touchdown Louisiana Monroe, up 34-31 right now. You have got to be kidding me. They are losing this game, and James Blackman has 191 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, and Cam Akers has 154 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. You mean to tell me, with that good of production from a quarterback and from a running back, from a Florida State team, they can't stop Louisiana Monroe? He's lost the team. They're reviewing the touchdown right now. Okay. This is crazy. Ridiculous that a Florida State team is doing this. Of course, couldn't happen to a better team, right? Oklahoma's already out by 21 points over South Dakota. Let me ask you this too. Do you think that they should just give every player to every Heisman to the Oklahoma player? I mean, I feel like, do you think it's really the player or the system? I'm starting to think it's the system. 3 quarterbacks in a row that are able to dominate. Jalen Hurts, it's not even halftime. He's got almost 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. So I'm starting to think this is just a factory for quarterbacks to be successful, and it's not really that it's the best player in the nation. Jalen Hurts was your preseason Heisman, so you're good with that. Okay, all right, you're good with that. Cheerleaders should suit up for Florida State. Yeah, that's right. Florida State's hit rock bottom. Yeah, you're right. We got 15 people watching live, on this impromptu live show. I mean, I just kind of threw this together because I really wanted to talk to you guys after the game. Had a lot of friends saying that Texas A&M was going to win the game and going to take it to Clemson, and they really couldn't get anything going. Kellen Mond looked very shaken the entire game, looked very spooked. I talked to one of my Texas A&M friends on Twitter, and let me tell you what he said here. So he said, Kellen Mond is a disappearing act, and it's going to kill them. They don't have any passing game, plus they turn the ball over. They can't expect to win at Clemson if they're going to do that. Defense looks good overall, but several injuries makes it difficult to win in the second half. Another thing is these injuries for Texas A&M, I'm not buying it. It's another Jimbo Fisher ploy to have every player and their mom get a cramp and call a timeout, call a referee timeout for a cramp. I thought it was a little bit ridiculous, as many cramps as they had. Delta Charlie, Tennessee lost to Georgia State. Florida State, hold my beer. Exactly. This is ridiculous, man. Oh my gosh. I can't even discuss my feelings with that game. LSU's already out 3-0 on Texas. Let me go over on the LSU Texas game real quick. See if I can pull it up. I have YouTube TV. I don't know if you guys know anything about YouTube TV, but I love it. I'm able to watch the Atlanta Braves, able to watch LSU and Clemson and anybody that's live, and my daughter's able to get Disney, so that works for me. Hulu Live. I've never tried Hulu Live. Might have to mute. Yeah, it's on right now. You probably could hear that. I don't think you can, but looks like sounds like Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler are calling the game. Looks like Sam Ehlinger is trying to force his way into the end zone at the red zone here, but it looks like he might have one knee down over at the LSU Texas game. Let me try something here. I've been wanting to try this. I've been talking to you guys about being able to throw up or talk through a game. I'm going to try something here. gonna experiment tonight. So what I'm gonna do is try to get a screen capture. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a screen capture. See if I can get it going. But I'm not going to play the game because I know it's against the rules to play the game live. I know they'll get on to me for that. They might kick the stream out for that. So we don't want to do that. But oh, you guys could see that. Yeah, they're going to get me if I do that. So let me go back to YouTube TV. I'll pull this away. All right, now you guys can see it. That's not good. We've got to adjust on the fly here. Where's the score? Oh, there it is. You guys see the score there? I got it up now. So I talked to a friend that said that you might be able to just throw the score up and nobody gets you for it. So let's see if I can stay live. Let's see if I can stay live with the score like that. We're just experimenting here. But see, then it pulls that up. I don't know why it does that. Here, I'll have to look at the chat on my phone. So what I've got, in case you guys are just listening to me, I've got the Texas LSU game scoreboard up. Just a clip of the scoreboard, so you can't really see the entire game. Somebody was telling me that they do that for NBA games when you live stream it. Yeah, so it looks like it's working. The only problem is I don't know how to have the my chat up so I can see it on the screen, because then it takes it away. But we'll figure it out. So I guess I'll just have to look at the chat through my phone. Yeah, Delta Charlie is showing the game. Yeah. Might have to take it down when the commercials go on. Could lose your channel for that. Yeah. I'm not trying to lose my channel at all, but I'm trying to. Somebody was telling me that you can just do it like I'm doing right now, where you see the scoreboard and that's it. So we got 3-0 LSU and Texas. And I was going to do that like live with a Clemson game in the future and be able to say, kind of try to do my own little play-by-play. I don't know any players for LSU really other than Burrow. He throws it out to the short flats and breaks a tackle and spins around and gets about 6-7 yards on that play. So, but it looks like LSU was able to stop Texas on that. But yeah, so I'm just goofing off of that. We'll take that down so I can look at some other stuff. So I can look at the chat, because I can't read the chat really well. You guys get to be a part of me experimenting. So Michael Wilson, welcome to the show, man. We got about 21 people live. We're not really talking about much other than just the post game, just kind of goofing off here. It's not a legit, like, structured show like we normally do on Wednesday nights. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m., myself and my co-host Alan Adams, we go over and talk about all things coming up for the week for the Clemson Tigers. We're going to preview the next game coming up, which is Syracuse Orange in Syracuse. So it's going to be an exciting game. Well, I say exciting. It probably was exciting before what happened this weekend, because Syracuse is definitely a pretender on my list now. But Michael Wilson, welcome to the show. If you got any questions, jump in the chat. Let us know. We'll talk about it. Just going to kind of goof off for a little while and then probably jump off about an hour. Michael Wilson says, really nice win for the Tigers against a talented Aggie squad. It's safe to say that this 2019 defense will be okay. Yeah, I think we were all kind of holding our breath on what the defense will be able to do. There's still some things that they could clean up. I feel like Chad Smith is a great player. I think Isaiah Simmons is great. James Skalski obviously understands the defense and what needs to happen at the middle linebacker position. He has a couple of missed tackles, but I think he'll clean that up. I'm excited to see Jordan Williams. Tyler Davis again got the start again. Niles Pickney. Xavier Thomas looks like at first he got stepped on his ankle. So a lot of people were holding their breath for that. I know Kwok jumped on Twitter immediately and he was like, oh man, the whole stadium kind of went silent when Xavier Thomas started grabbing his leg. I think the same thing for Trevor Lawrence. I think the whole stadium kind of went silent when Trevor Lawrence was grabbing his leg. So, but Trevor Lawrence got stepped on. It looked like Xavier Thomas got rolled up on, but both of them are going to be okay from what it seems like. What are my thoughts on the play of Deion Kendrick at cornerback? I felt like they picked on him a lot, considering somebody who this is his legitimate second game at cornerback. Remember that. So it's not somebody like that has played cornerback for his entire life and at Clemson. So I think he did really well. I'm going to say that he did definitely get picked on a lot, and I think so. It might have made him look worse than he really is. But it's just going to continue. I mean, I want him. If I'm him, I want to be picked on. I want to get all the experience I can so that I can be ready towards that late season, that championship run. So I'm not really going to beat him up about that. Rick, welcome to the show, man. I hope to see you this next week. ETN as a receiver, I mean, I think that was the only way he was successful today. Rick's talking about how did he do as a receiver. Let's look at the receiving. He was the third best receiver on the team, 4 receptions, 52 yards, 13 yards average, 27-yard long. You know, he came into the season talking about how he wanted to be a better receiver. I mean, you can't beat him up for that showing. I think that was something that they had to do. I mean, Texas A&M clearly came out and said, if we're not going to do anything, we're going to definitely put all of our chips in the stop ETN bucket. That's what they wanted to do, stop ETN. What's up, Kevron? Welcome to the show. Clemson Carson agrees. Thanks, Deion Kendrick played well. How you feel Trevor played today compared to last week's Georgia Tech game? Sam Johns, welcome to the show, Sam. Sam's been on our show, on some of our March Madness shows, so thanks for joining us. We're just kind of goofing off tonight. But Trevor Lawrence played against compared to Georgia Tech game. I think it's an improvement for sure. I think he can still improve. But 24 completions, 35 attempts, 268 yards. You know, I think he managed the game well. Dabo Swinney mentioned that a lot. Being able to manage the game well is a key component for a quarterback. You know, he does have more. I think he has 3 interceptions now. And last year he only had 4 for the entire year. And that's going to be a problem too, because he's going to have to face, and we're going to have to get adjusted to the fact that he's going to be compared to himself last year for the entire season. Well, you didn't do this last year. Well, you did that last year, and you're not doing it now. So he's going to have to wake up every morning and check Twitter if he does. I mean, I'm sure these guys do. They're human just like us. But he's going to wake up and he's going to say, here we go again. They're telling me I'm not as good as I was last year. He's going to have to get over that. Trevor threw for almost 300 yards on a very good Texas A&M defense. I felt like Texas A&M was very conservative. I don't think they came after him very much. I think they could get to him, but I don't know. Did they get any sacks again this game? Was there any sacks? Usually there's not any. I don't see any defensive stats yet. Usually it takes a while for defensive stats to show up. But yeah, they got 2 sacks today. 2 sacks. So I missed those, but overall I think they did well. I was kind of disappointed. There was one play I remember off the top of my head where I think it was Linjay or somebody had caught the ball and was tied up, and Jackson Carman was just staring at him while he was fighting for extra yards. I felt like they did better with that last year, of pushing the guy. Like, hey, if my running back's going to keep fighting for yards, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to push the pile. Because Jackson Carman, he did, but it was kind of like too little too late. But he pushed the entire pile when he went in. And I'm like, you got to know when you see people coming at you, when you see somebody, their motor's still running, go help them out, man. I mean, that's what it's about right now. FSU just scored. So let's take a look and see. Florida State just scored, so LSU's got the ball again. Yep, 38-35 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This is crazy. Another game. If you look at the box score, you think, how in the world is Florida State having to struggle to win this game? Their defense is just that bad. I mean, you think Monroe is going after them like this? What's Clemson going to do? That's not going to be good. Let me go back to the top 25. Oklahoma still steamrolling 28-0. UCF 20-0 on Florida Atlantic. Leonard Fournette run for 9 yards. So Leonard Fournette, I'm guessing that's his brother of Leonard Fournette. Real creative on the name there. But I guess if you're brothers, you can keep it kind of similar, and it works. LSU 3, Texas 0. Auburn 7, Tulane 3. Florida 10-0 on UT Martin. Penn State 7-0 on Buffalo. Oregon 7-3 on Nevada. Michigan State 21-0 Western Michigan. Alabama 62-10. These are all games that had been already played. Let me know in the comments who you got in the UNC. Let me know in the comments who you got in the UNC Miami game. I think my chat window just disappeared. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back in the video and watch you guys. I have no idea what I'm doing here. But hey, we got 18 people watching. We got a bunch of people watching, not a lot of people talking. Come on, let's talk. Delta Charlie's got UNC winning. Clemson Carson 10-0. UNC up already. Oh man. Let me go over to the ACC. I'm bouncing back and forth between top 25 scores and ACC. So do you think, first glance, only 5 minutes into the first quarter, UNC up 10-0. Do you think that North Carolina is the real deal, or is it more that Miami's not the real deal? And if Miami's not the real deal, then that means we know Florida's not the real deal. Oh yeah, I got a comment on Army. I guess you weren't here. I felt like, I was cheering for them. They had a chance to win with a guy on a 50-yard field goal that had never kicked a field goal in college football. That was a recipe for disaster. I figured he was going to miss the kick, and he did. I don't even think it was long enough. But it was a disappointing loss, but it was a great showing by the Black Knights. I mean, Michigan was exposed. Their Shea Patterson is terrible. Their running game's non-existent for Michigan. Michigan's going to have a very bad season in the Big 12. I'm going to love to see that Michigan Maryland game, because I think Maryland's just going to tear them up too. Maryland playing the way they are, they're going to tear up a lot of teams, and especially Michigan. Luke Godwin says they're pretty closely matched, Miami and UNC. Okay. Miami looks like they came out with a field goal, 50-yarder. Bubba Baxa. Pretty cool. I like that name. I'll allow it. Looking to see DJ Dallas do well again. I think he did well against that Florida defense. Michael Wilson said, keep in mind UNC brought in a bunch of really talented transfers, so they'll be better than expected. That's the one thing about having a show like this. I have to learn more about the teams I really don't care about. I wish I could just talk about Clemson the entire time, but, I guess I can. I felt like, I don't know, did you guys feel like it was kind of it really wasn't that exciting of a game. I know that's kind of really picky of me. But 2 quarters, Clemson didn't score at all. I wasn't expecting that. There wasn't any big Travis Etienne run. There were a couple of pretty good runs from Lynn J. Dixon I was excited about. Defense was really solid. Like I said, I think the offense and defense are so alike in the fact that they can adjust. I think the big word of the season is adjust. Man, this Clemson team can do whatever they want to do and adjust whenever they need to based on whatever you bring at them. And it's going to be tough for anybody to, any opposing coach to game plan for them. So Delta Charlie asking, where does Clemson's next threat come from? Well, let's look, man. Let's look. So the schedule, Clemson's schedule, right? Beat Georgia Tech 52-14 last Thursday. Well, not last Thursday, but a week ago. And beat Texas A&M this afternoon 24-3, we'll call it. No garbage time TDs. Syracuse, based on what we've seen, Tommy DeVito is not their savior. He is not the quarterback that they thought he was going to be, and that's a problem for them. As long as you stop Mo Neal, you stop Syracuse. And so I believe Clemson can shut down any team that's so one-dimensional that way. And as we saw with the Syracuse versus Maryland game today, even if Tommy DeVito has a pretty good game passing, which he did, even a really good game passing is only good for about 20 points for him. Right now, Clemson is got a 93% chance to win that game. Whew. That's pretty bad. 93%. I know that's not how it was at the beginning of the season, preseason for sure. But you got Charlotte, not a challenge. Really? I mean, I'm starting to highlight UNC a little bit more. They weren't even penciled in at all for me in my mind. But that September 28th game at UNC, I'm starting to take it a little more serious based on the way UNC's playing right now. I mean, I think Mac Brown has a good strategy. I was not giving him any credit because I felt like he'd need to recruit first. But as some of you, as chat's saying, you got a lot of people that they jumped in already and got some transfers that are playing immediately. So, where do you guys think the next threat is? I mean, I'm looking UNC maybe. I mean, I'm not saying they're necessarily a threat, but I'm saying that you take them seriously. Florida State, as we know, if anything, Florida State's going to come out strong, score a couple of touchdowns in the first and second quarter, and then die, and never come back after halftime. So, and that's a game at home. So let's not even worry about Florida State. Louisville is a game that I feel like they're going to want to play us hard. It's at their house at the Papa John Stadium. Or is it still Papa John Stadium? Or they change it because of all the controversy? Boston College always plays Clemson hard, but that's at home. Wofford, and then you got a bye week. No. Was it NC State? Yeah, NC State. And then you have there's a bye week in between somewhere, right? I'm missing a bye week. It doesn't show bye weeks on ESPN. But Wofford, NC State. I don't know how I feel about NC State right now either. They're 2-0. Wake Forest is 2-0. And then you got South Carolina, who is just jumping up and down for all the records they broke today against a team that was getting them where tickets were on sale for like $450. I mean, I can't believe it. How dare you go on social media as a South Carolina social media team and talk about all the records you broke today? I mean, that's just ridiculous. BC, BC plays us tough. I don't know if it's necessarily a threat. It's hard to say, Delta Charlie. It's really hard to say. I mean, it's possible your biggest threat's going to be Oklahoma or Georgia in the playoffs. I mean, it's shaping up to be where we might have to play UNC twice. I mean, I guess Virginia, I'd like to see UNC versus Virginia. When do they play? Clemson right now has a 93% chance of beating the Tar Heels based on Football Power Index. UNC doesn't play Virginia until the beginning of November 2nd. And that's at home against Virginia. That'll be a good one. Be an interesting one for the ACC at least. Let's look back at the top 25. See where we're at. Let's look at the score. So, UL Monroe driving. All right, I'm going to pull up the game cast here. UL Monroe driving. 2nd and 5. Ball on FSU's 19-yard line. Down by 3. 1st and 10 on the FSU's 14. They just got a first down. They've gone 9 plays, 61 yards in the past 3 minutes, 32 seconds. They're driving. This University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks is driving on a Florida State Seminole team. Ridiculous. And they got a win probability of 53% right now. They got 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And first down on the FSU's 14 in order to score. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Tiger Nation jumped in. How'd that guarantee work out for you, A&M? Yeah, you don't want any bulletin board material like that, especially from somebody who can't back it up. I mean, that offense was dead all day today. Can't wait for the South Carolina-Alabama game. Yeah, that's going to be a nasty one. Yeah, I didn't even think the Shamecocks counted that high. Yeah, that's right. UVA played last night. Virginia's really good. Yep. Next threat is next week. Yeah, William Murray, I agree, man. You got to I love the way Dabo Swinney keeps everybody focused, you know. Thank God he doesn't have to coach all the fans because we just definitely can't stay focused. Got about 21 people watching, and welcome to the show, guys. I mean, this is just it's not even a show. This is really just me talking after the Texas A&M game, having a good time. Looks like Texas is up 6-3. That drive just ended. 8 plays, 78 yards, 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Texas just scored with 10 minutes, 29 seconds left in the second half. Let me jump over to the UL Florida State game. 4th and 3, FSU's 7-yard line. What is Monroe Warhawks going to do? A minute 33 left. What are they going to do? What is up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this impromptu show. Hey, if you haven't, go follow me over on YouTube or on Twitter at Clemson Morgan. I just I just tweet whatever comes to mind, really. Try to just goof off there too. 38-38 game tied with a field goal there. Wow. I wonder if can Florida State win it in a minute and 30 seconds? That's the question. Michael Wilson, first time on the show. Excellent job tonight, sir. Not only talking Clemson, but giving live updates from other games as well. Hey, this is really, I've never done this before. If you want to check out the live show, like the real deal where we just have the production and everything, go check out Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. I do it on Facebook and I do it on YouTube, kind of simulcast through Streamlabs. So go check it out. Be there Wednesday night, 8:30. I'll have my co-host, Alan Adams, and we like to talk about all things Clemson. We're going to probably recap the Texas A&M game. Going to talk about the Syracuse game coming up and give our grades on players and maybe try some fun things. We also do live call-ins on that show too. But I didn't want to do live. I didn't want to go too far into it tonight. I just wanted to get on here and throw the graphic up real quick and talk about previous or talk about the game really. And yeah, make sure. Thank you, Tiger Nation, for reminding me. Make sure to like the video and make sure to share or subscribe to the channel. We just reached over 500 subscribers. We're over, I think, like 507 right now. So I appreciate that. We are fighting towards that super chat. What's going to happen first? Will the Morgan Thomas Show get 1,000 subscribers, or will Florida State become relevant? Which one will that? What will happen first? Halfway to 1,000. That's right, baby. We actually just passed 1,300 over on Facebook. So if you like Facebook, go check it out. I don't always post videos over on Facebook. I usually do like graphics and stuff too. So I try to change it up. I tried Instagram, but I'm just not really. I have a full-time job, so this is kind of tough for me to do 3 or 4 different platforms at once. I tried Hootsuite and it didn't really work right for me, so I don't know if you guys have another suggestion, but let's take a look at the scores again. So minute 24 left in the fourth quarter. Florida State's got the ball, and I guess they're kind of driving, maybe not. I don't really think they are. All right, I got YouTube TV up, so I'm just gonna let me go look at the Florida State. I don't know. I don't even want to watch that. Really, it's just garbage. Miami, North Carolina. That's what I thought I clicked on. The women's final in the U.S. Open. I recorded that too. I think my wife loves tennis, and so I've been kind of into it this year. I normally am not into tennis, and I'm terrible at tennis, but I've been enjoying watching the U.S. Open. I'm trying to get to. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get Miami, North Carolina, but it keeps pulling up Florida State. So is Miami, North Carolina on another channel? I can't. I'm not able to find Miami. So I'll just go to Texas. Who is on the bigger hot seat, Muschamp or at USC or Willie Taggart at FSU? Well, we know Muschamp's not going anywhere. He's got I think a $22 million buyout this year and then an $18.5 million buyout next year. So you can go ahead and write that check for Will Muschamp. He will be coaching the next 2 years. Willie Taggart, on the other hand, I'm not really sure about his contract, but I'm going to go say Willie, considering. Can you believe that? $22 million this year, $18 million next year. What agent? Ray Tanner should be slapped for signing that document on a coach that nobody really wanted. It's crazy. Louisiana Monroe just forced a punt. Are you kidding me? With a minute left, they held the ball. With a minute and 38 seconds left, they held the ball for 30 seconds, and now they're punting. 32 seconds. Florida State is trash. Trash. Horrible, horrible team. All right, let's go to Florida State. I must be a little... Okay, yeah, so they're about to punt here. From their 31-yard line, Florida State's about to punt the ball. Wow, that stadium looks packed. Fair caught it at the 30-yard line. So Monroe has 58 seconds to take the ball from the 30-yard line. And oh my goodness, that stadium looks horrible. I wonder what the tickets were going for on this game. Yeah, you got to feel bad for him. I mean, I remember as a kid losing to Duke. So we can say we've been there. That's why I feel like the fans who haven't been there don't really know. You know, they don't really respect the climb and what Dabo Swinney has done. Clemson Carson said I would feel bad for him, but I can't. Yeah, I try to be classy. I try to. Yeah. Alan's gonna kill me for having his hat on because I picked on him so much about not about wearing his hat. Oh wow. Louisiana Monroe rolls out to the right, passes the ball to the running back, and he bobbles it, hits it off his face, catches it, and then goes out of bounds. It's crazy. 51 seconds to go. 1st and 10. Yeah, I got this from Tiger Sports Shop. So, I got this hat from Tiger Sports Shop. It's pretty good. I feel like the block C though is not thick enough. Even though it's a Nike hat, I feel like I know it's a legit hat, but I feel like the C, like Dabo Swinney block C hat is thicker. So I don't really know if I really like that. Let's see. Let me go back to the scores, top 25 scores. Auburn 7-3 on Tulane, not really making any movement there. LSU, Texas, no movement there. 7-3 Texas. Oregon 14-6 over Nevada. 8 minutes 28 seconds left in the second quarter. Not much other going on right now other than that. The UNC game. Ooh, UNC 17-3 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Let me tell you something. Tar Heels, we need to start circling that date on the calendar. We need to start really taking them serious. Well, the baseball hat C actually has it's more like a script letter C. It's not a block letter C. So it's not, I wouldn't mind the baseball hat. I like the baseball hats. Yeah, if you don't mind, go over on Twitter and give me a follow at Clemson Morgan. I like to, just goof off over there. I put in updates. I try to tweet at least once or twice a day, and then I put in game updates during the game so you can listen to my rants on Twitter. FSU's going 0-12 if they keep this up. Yeah, that's right. My Carolina Skies, welcome to the show. More like a baseball hat than a football hat. Hey, come on. It's block letter. It's definitely football. It's a legit hat. It's got Nike. It's legit. I didn't get this from black market or anything. When I was in Iraq, when I was in the military, they used to have like a black market where you could get bootleg DVDs and bootleg watches and stuff. I guarantee you I did not get this from there. I paid good money for it. 37 seconds to go, 3rd and 5 in the fourth quarter. Louisiana Monroe has the ball on the 35-yard line, on their 35-yard line. So I think we're pretty much going into overtime for the Florida State game. They come out in a 4 wide receiver, trips to the left, throws it deep, and it gets batted down by the Florida State defender. 3rd and 5, 18 seconds left to go in the fourth. It's a gateway sport. I picked it up at the Williamston Jockey Lot over in Anderson. Go check it out. You think Louisiana Monroe might get a field goal? I don't know. They got to flip the field if they're going to get a field goal. They definitely can't kick a field goal from where they're at right now. Made North Korea, yeah. I don't even really want to promote that I got something that's made from Nike, with all the controversy around that. Let me ask you this, okay? I've been thinking about this all day, but I didn't really want to ever this was not something I put on Twitter or anything. But would you rather have Colin Kaepernick on your team or Antonio Brown? Let me know what you think. Would you rather have Colin Kaepernick's drama or Antonio Brown's drama? What would you rather have? Antonio Brown, no question about it. Okay. Yeah, you're looking at drama from a Tiger Nation said a bullet. Luke Godwin said neither. Delta Charlie said Antonio Brown. I have no respect. Clemson Carson said, I have no respect for players who don't stand for the anthem. Hey, I agree. The same thing. People want to realize that a lot of the people who say that America has all these problems have only been to other countries on vacation and haven't really seen the other countries. All right, let's look. Ooh, I won the Washington State, Northern Colorado, 59-7. I'm going to lose this Florida State, Louisiana Monroe game for sure. There was a lot of spreads that were off this week. Did you notice that? About 10 games that were off where it's just going to be legit. That team's going to win. In the ACC, and the top 25. Pat signed Brown, so I guess we're stuck with this drama. Yep, you're going to have to deal with it. And it looks like the Patriots love him. 10 seconds to go. Looks like Florida State has the ball. I mean, what is Willie Taggart saying? Hey, let me ask you this. Can you imagine what it would be like to be Brent Venables and call a play knowing that you just called a blitz from A.J. Terrell and Xavier Thomas? A double blitz, from both sides. I bet Brent Venables, like before the ball was even snapped, was already laughing. Because that just sounds like just trouble. It sounds like that quarterback's going to get killed, and he did get killed. Syracuse is a one-trick pony. Correct. Mo Neal, one-trick pony. You stop Mo Neal, you stop Syracuse. Tommy DeVito, nobody. Now this Sam Howell guy, I'm starting to respect him more and more. He's 5 for 6, 133 yards and 1 touchdown right now. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. North Carolina Tar Heels 17, Miami Hurricanes 3. Tar Heels with the ball. Going back over to the Florida State game. End of regulation. Tie game going into overtime. Florida State versus UL Monroe. Oh, yeah, I could watch Brent Venables. I mean, I would just like to. I wish they did like NASCAR, where you could listen to them talking on the radio. That would be really cool. Tiger Nation's laughing at Miami. Let me refresh here and see what we got. Not seeing anything yet, but the Tar Heels right now, as of win probability on ESPN, 77.2 chance to win the game. Starting out the gate hot, 17-3. Let's go back over to top 25 scores. See where LSU's at. LSU just took the lead 10-7 with a touchdown in the second quarter, 7 minutes to go. Texas has got the ball, 3rd and 7. Huge play from Sam Ehlinger, 17 yards, not huge, but 17-yard pass to change the field 40 on the 45 of LSU, driving the ball. Looks like the LSU-Texas game might be a pretty good one back and forth there. If you're watching the show and you never watched this before, this is kind of like an impromptu post-game live stream. I don't normally do this. I've never done this before. Usually what I do is every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, myself and my co-host Alan Adams go live on Facebook and YouTube, and we talk about all things Clemson. And it's really like a radio show, but with video. And we're just trying to make it fun and entertaining for Clemson fans. But this is really a Clemson Texas A&M post-game show to talk about the game and anything else you want to talk about, which really right now we're talking about the Miami UNC game and the Florida State Louisiana Monroe game. What if SC fired Muschamp? Would Mark Richt take the job? I really don't think South Carolina is that inviting of a job, to be honest. I mean, they keep having to get washed-up coaches to go there. Lou Holtz washed up. Steve Spurrier, who was their most winningest coach, right, was really a washed-up coach. And now you have Muschamp washed up. He was a prodigy that never worked out. Antonio Brown wants a ring. Doesn't everybody want a ring? Let me go back over to the game here. They're showing some highlights of the Miami-North Carolina game. 17-3 Miami right now. They're about to go over the overtime rules of the Florida State game. I'm going to back out of that and try to find this. Where is this Miami game at, dude? I mean, it keeps telling me this is the Miami game on the ACC network, but all I get is Florida State. Is it on another channel? Somebody help me out with this. Is it on another channel? My Carolina Skies. Hey, why don't you follow me over on Twitter and check us out on Facebook, and come join us for the live show. I like some of your insights so far. It's pretty hilarious. ESPN News. Let me go check. ESPN News. Figure out how to work this YouTube TV. I got ESPN News. Oh. ESPN News with one N. Is that how they do it? I'm not getting it. Where is this game, man? Forget it. Forget it. We'll just watch this crazy Florida State game. Ridiculous. Let me go home. Let me go click home here, and then yeah, it doesn't even give me the option for that game. It's like forcing me to watch this horrible overtime game. Sweeney doing his post-game interview on YouTube. I guess I better hang up now. I don't want to be competing with Facebook. I don't want to compete with our coach. I mean, my first reactions on the team. Let's go back to the Clemson Texas A&M game. If you go, I felt like Kellen Mond came out pretty flat to start off the game. What did y'all think about the missed field goal by BT Potter, 47-yard field goal missed? That was kind of disappointing considering he came off a game where he had a 51-yard field goal. Especially when you're playing at home, you kind of assume that you're going to be able to kick a field goal from that distance at home and be pretty automatic considering you're used to the environment, you're used to the grass, you're used to the stadium, the way it looks. So I was a little bit disappointed from BT Potter there, but it didn't bother me, it didn't worry me in the sense that I still thought Clemson was going to win and should have won by more than what they really did, honestly. But out the gate, Texas A&M came with 2 punts. Looks like they really weren't able to do anything from the beginning. Clemson struggled too. It took them 3 series to get a score. And they got a score from a 30-yard Justin Ross touchdown pass. I remember that. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence rolling out to his left? He likes to roll out to his left a lot. And he did that last year, and I felt like that they would have corrected that by now because it's forcing him to kind of like run this way but turn as his feet are going one direction, his shoulders are having to turn and go another direction. I'm a little confused at why they don't design more plays for him to roll out to the right, or why they haven't really tried to hone in on him making sure he rolls out to his natural side. And then maybe it's on purpose. Maybe they know that he can turn like that because he can. But I felt like Trevor did good. I don't think it was a terrible game for him. A lot better than the Georgia Tech game. But yeah, Trevor, I would rather him roll out to the right instead of to the left. As far as the offensive line, I think they did really well. There were 2 sacks we looked at, had 2 sacks given up, but other than that, I think they did pretty well. I don't think they did that well in the run game, though. It seemed like the run game was very hard to get working. Travis Etienne had a terrible game in the running game. He did better in the passing game. Lynn J. Dixon was able to pick up towards the end of the game, and just his style's a little bit different, so I think maybe it was more of a style, and kind of his shoulders aren't as broad, and so I think he's able to kind of get in spaces that Travis is not able to get into anymore because Travis is bulked up so much. So I think it was a game that Lin Jay was kind of able to squirt through a couple of areas where Travis can't get through anymore. Not saying that Travis is not an awesome player, as we know. I think the wide receivers did a lot better this game for sure. Really proud of T. Higgins. Man, I think T. Higgins showed up exactly when they needed him to. I felt like he was the reason why they kind of were able to march the ball when they needed to at the beginning of the game. Trevor makes throws look easy when he rolls out. Yeah, that's for sure. Kellen Mond just didn't look like himself. He really didn't try to roll around that much. He didn't try to use his legs that much. Trevor Lawrence was better than last week, other than the lazy pick. Underthrew, telling me he's just too overconfident. Yeah, I think you have to deal with that in some ways, especially when you know you're projected. When you're going into the games and you're going to be projected to win every single game this year. You got to find some other motivating factors than just winning. When you know that, when your mind's like, I know I'm going to win this game, or I know I have a 90% chance of winning this game. You got to kind of go in for other reasons. LSU, number 6 LSU, 10, number 9 Texas, 7. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left in the second. Oklahoma, 35-0. No surprise there. Miami, North Carolina finally made it into the second quarter, 17-3. What's up if you're watching us over on YouTube or listening to us? Give us a shout in the chat. Let us know who you are. Let us know where you're from and what kind of questions you want to talk about tonight on the post-game show. Florida State might win this game. Well, it's crazy we're having to say might win this game. Let's see. How did ACC do today? Wake Forest win, Virginia win, Boston College win, Georgia Tech win, NC State win, Virginia Tech win, Pittsburgh win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 wins right there through Pittsburgh. Maryland beat Syracuse, so 7-1. And there's going to be a win and loss in the Miami, North Carolina game. Louisville's winning, so 8-1. Duke's winning, 9-1. Florida State, I guess we're going to say that they're going to pull this out now. So 10-1. Clemson, 11-1. So week 2, not that bad for the ACC. Of course, there were a lot of easy games, a lot of low-end games here, except for the Clemson Texas A&M game. There's really no excuse for Texas A&M on this one. This is another game at the beginning of the season. They can't say that they had to go through the SEC gauntlet. I want to know how many backups have been played against SEC teams. How many Dabo Swinney backups, or how many Clemson backups have been played against SEC teams? I venture to say a lot. A lot of backups in the championship game. A lot of backups in the South Carolina game. A lot of backups in this game too. Not as many as the Georgia Tech game. Oh, almost looks like Louisiana Monroe almost scored. Let me tell you something. It looks like LSU has actually, they're legitimately going to try to pass the ball a lot this year. I mean, they're coming out in a shotgun. That's a read option shotgun too. Not really that impressive of a pass from Burrow, though. It was kind of more of a softball. But yeah, they're definitely a passing team now. Touchdown, Louisiana Monroe. Oh boy. Could this be another 70-77 overtime game? Could it? Against two powerhouse teams. Florida State from the ACC. Louisiana Monroe Warhawks from the Sun Belt. Two powerhouses going at it. God, no. Missed the point after? Are you kidding me? You missed the point after. Nobody is letting that kicker on the bus tonight. Nobody. You have got to be kidding me. No one is letting the kick. Let's look at the kicker's name up right now. You have got, man, you know what? He's got a family. They love him. Jacob Meeks. You went 5 for 6 from extra point. Man, Jacob Meeks. Jacob Meeks, are you a freshman? Nope, you're a sophomore. From Grand Prairie, Texas. Prairie, Texas, sorry. Jacob Meeks. Gonna be a long ride for you, buddy. Willie Taggart kissing the UML kicker. I think Willie Taggart deserves, I think that Jacob Meeks deserves a couple of $1,000 for that. Whoa. All right, let's go to the UNC Miami game. Yes, let's please do it. Let's get away from this. All right, here we go. Seeing that beautiful, beautiful blue there. Looks like Miami's getting ready for a 26-yard field goal attempt from the 10-yard line, or it looks like the 9-yard line, and they miss. Miami misses a 26-yard attempt. Wow. I think I just woke up my daughter. I'm probably going to have to quit the stream if I did that. Sometimes I get a little too loud here. Oh, it looks like it was a little bit blocked by the UNC defender. A little wobbly, and it completely missed the left side of the goalpost. UNC has quite a team here this year. Like I said, we're going to have to start looking at that schedule, man. We're going to have to start taking it serious. September 28th at UNC. That's an away game. Put it on the calendar. Who do they have to play until then? Wake and Appalachian State. They could easily be undefeated. This is crazy. I don't normally do a live stream this long, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of goofing off here. Washington and Atlanta's playing. I don't know if you guys are Atlanta Braves fans. I'm a big Atlanta Braves fan. Looks like Washington and Atlanta's playing right now. Atlanta 2, Washington 1. Clemson Carson's a Red Sox fan. The kicker was breathing too hard. Yeah, I'm telling you, that Clemson North Carolina Tar Heel game is going to be a good one. Braves haven't followed them in 20 years. What have you missed? Well, they're actually doing pretty good this year. I guess when you followed them 20 years ago, they were good then too. All right, so we're back to the Tar Heel game. Let's see if I can. There we go. All right. We're back to the Tar Heel game. 8 minutes, 39 seconds left in the second quarter. Second down for the Tar Heels. Somebody told me I could put up this scoreboard, and it would still work. Wouldn't be the whole, it's not really playing the game. Short run to the right side. 2-yard loss. But there was a holding penalty on the play. Flag on the play, holding North Carolina. No. Holding on the defense. Let me tell you something. Sam Howell's doing pretty good. First 3 quarters, not as good, but the last 2 quarters, he's been really turning it on this season. So they move the ball up. I don't know much about Sam Howell, but he seems to be leading that team pretty well. All right, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Hand up the middle, goes nowhere for looks like what would be a 1 or 2 yard loss, 1 yard loss. I'm about 15 seconds ahead of a charter stream. Wow, I wouldn't expect that coming from YouTube TV. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that. Did UNC get rid of the Argyle? I don't know. I thought I saw it. I definitely saw it in the end zone. So we got about 15 people watching now. Welcome to the show. All right, let's see what we got. 3rd and 10 from 35-yard line. Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers to the left. Running back to the left. Rolls out to the left, gets pressured. 3 men on him. Sam Howell goes down for a sack. Big time sack for Miami there. 4th down. They're going to have to punt. 4th down, 16, and the Tar Heels are definitely going to have to punt now. Manny Diaz sounds like a mafia boss. Yeah, for sure. Definitely a mafia boss. All right, guys. Well, I had fun. I think it's a little bit late for me. I'm going to go watch some of the games with my family the rest of the night, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this little fun, little impromptu chat. Let me know if you want to do this some more. Let me know if you do this again. I really don't want to do a live stream during the game because I'd rather just watch the Clemson game. And for me, I can't sit down and watch a Clemson game. I got to be up, moving around, clapping, cheering. So I definitely can't live stream during a Clemson game. I'd be too into it. But let me know if you like the post game stream. And then what we might do is are you allowed to do a replay? You know, Tiger TV YouTube channel has like the full game replay, or ACC Digital Network has like a 20-minute condensed replay of the previous game. What I was thinking about is doing a live stream with like a little replay up like I'm doing with this scoreboard, you know. Let me know what you think about that. Before I sign off, I was thinking about doing kind of like this, but putting the replay up, and we'll just watch the replay of the game. So we'll watch the Texas A&M game again, but maybe like the condensed game with no commercials, or maybe like an even more condensed game where it's just the highlights. Let me know what you think. All right, guys. We'll be ending this one.